Welcome, everybody, back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and I am joined by my illustrious co-host and a man that's been watching a lot of wrestling this weekend, Mr. Adam Cousins. Ads, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Yes, what a show from Jurassic Pro yesterday. It was great to go down to see him. Our first show with our partners. Dragged my girlfriend along for the camera work, but she managed to get more friends than I did.
She done a good job. She did, mate. You can put her on the payroll full time, mate. I don't know how you're going to pay her, but we'll figure something. Exactly, mate. Exactly. So we are here for our Lay in the Smackdown show after the disaster that was Raw after Raw after WrestleMania. SmackDown couldn't really fail. The big news of SmackDown this week, let's just get into it. Yep. Triple H, what's he going to announce? What's he going to say? We all pretty much knew it was going to be the draft, and it was the draft. And he said, nothing is off. Was it nothing is off the table? Everyone is up for selection, which kind of interesting. What do you make of it? What do you think about the draft? Who are you hoping goes where? There's always one big change. Could we see a Cody Rhodes on SmackDown, or could we see, you know what I mean, but Roman Reigns go to Raw? But with the only problem is with Reigns with both the belts, doesn't he automatically, obviously? But you never. How many times have you seen him on Raw in the last 2 years? All right, the build up to Mania a little bit, but apart from that, he's pretty much been. Do you reckon that's because of Fox and it's a Friday and Probably. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, he's only ever been on Raw when he's been hyping up I suppose, when he's fighting on the Raw guys. But, and again, with Mania, it was like, what, two times maybe? Maybe more. Draft itself, yeah, I'm always skeptical when he says things like, no one's prohibited, and then he sort of said this, it was going to be the biggest draft ever or something along the lines where basically the game's going to change.
Splitting the Usos up? Bloodline, one on SmackDown, Jay on SmackDown, Jimmy on Raw, vice versa.
Yeah, they could just leave Solo and Roman on SmackDown, and the Usos could be drafted to Raw. Jay could be drafted on his own because that seems to. Well, we'll get into that a bit later, but I don't know. I hate when they sort of hype these things like the biggest thing ever, because it generally is a letdown. Happy though that the draft is happening because we've talked about this before, mainly the women's division, but as a whole, it needs to change. Whether he means NXT get picks.
Oh,
I'm just thinking because he said that no, everyone is included. So does that mean that they're going to go?
They've done that recently anyway, haven't they? A lot of people from the main roster have been dropping back. I say dropping back down. I don't mean that horribly. It's not like you've been relegated from the Premier League to League One. Yeah, but yeah, it's been happening a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, so maybe they're saying, because obviously normally goes Raw get a couple of picks more because they're the 3-hour show, don't they? And then or not NXT get a pick as well. I don't know. They said the rumored date is I think it's just is the 4th of May or something.
Before Backlash.
Before Backlash.
So the it's going to be on. Well, I'm guessing it's going to be on Raw. So you're going to probably it'll be on both shows. Well, it could be on all shows.
If NXT do it, could be on all three.
So that'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, maybe that's what we knew it is. Or does it mean Vince is gonna select the Raw side? And
oh my god! Could you imagine? Could you imagine they announce the? I don't know, not GM, but I don't know, they could word it. Vince McMahon is taking over Raw, and no. That is it. My TV's going off, mate. These podcasts will be very short if Vince McMahon gets his grubby little mitts back on the thing. But SmackDown, mate, opened up with the Brawling Brutes kicking off. Yes. Against Imperium. What, mate, as soon as that opens the show, you're on for a good one, mate. And it was pretty much as brutal as what we saw. Maybe not as much as we saw at Mania, but they teased a lot of the same spots, got the crowd excited when Sheamus and Gunther got in the ring. I think they're onto something with these guys, man. I'm not sure how many matches you can put them in. It kind of makes me miss the... I wish we had like a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view sometime soon. Imagine putting Sheamus and Gunther in a Hell in a Cell. But what did you make of the opening of SmackDown? Straight off the gate, I think I texted you. I was like, I'm 20 minutes into the first match, and it's already better than 3 hours of Raw.
Yeah, it was. And when you put those, those two teams in, I mean, they're all talented in their own way. made for a great opening to probably the best show of the week across wrestling, not just WWE. Obviously, the McIntyre issue, health/contract. Apparently, he's been working through this health issue throughout Mania. So hopefully, well, we hope. Obviously, we hope that he's getting better and that
he's contracted till 2024, right? Don't he?
He's contracted for another 7 to 9 months, and all these fans are getting excited about him debuting at All In. It's never going to happen. Even if he got released from the WWE, his 90-day release takes him past the date. So it would never happen. Yeah, all they could possibly do is put it on a video package. Say these, but the reality is WWE ain't going to be that stupid. Are you really going to let go one of your biggest sort of X-Pac talents right before AEW go to London to put on their biggest show they've ever done? They're not going to do that.
No.
Well, no, they're a mile. Well, from what we hear, and again, this is all hearsay, so we have to take everything with a pinch of salt. They're miles away from the money. There's a creativity thing as well that he's not happy about, according to internet talk.
Yeah, he's probably got the, you know what I mean? He carried them through the pandemic and the Thunderdome era, and he's probably thinking, well, since we've come back to what we call proper normal wrestling, I enjoyed the Thunderdome, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
Not that he's been hung out to dry, but they've just gone and I suppose with Roman, it's hard because whoever he does drop the title to, Drew probably wants it to be him, but realistically, it's probably going to be Cody at some stage in a roundabout way. Again, though, so I renewed my Inside the Ropes subscription this morning, and I got a little email thing, and you click on some links, and it's been touted this morning that The Rock is already said WrestleMania 40, I'm going to be there. Do with that what you will. I couldn't see him winning the title off Roman, but that may speak that Roman drops it before Mania next year.
It doesn't need a title.
Drew's probably thinking, well, I want him to drop it to. I'd be flabbergasted if he dropped it to Drew McIntyre now. I really would. If anyone other than Cody, I know they're going to go in a roundabout way of getting there. If he does drop it and it's before May, I can see he'll get past 1,000 days, and then maybe something like SummerSlam, maybe, which is the next biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah. I always say I wouldn't rule it out of Money in the Bank, depending on if he's there. Obviously, he's not at Backlash. That's out of the question. He is not competing at Backlash. Roman Reigns is not there. So it's going to be that'll be headlined by maybe Gunther.
Brock Lesnar and Cody.
Brock Lesnar and Cody will probably main event it from a match standpoint.
Winner gets a title shot somehow thrown in there. I know that Brock Lesnar hasn't got one, but that could be a stipulation. This is WWE. Jesus.
It's a simple stip you can add, isn't it? But I still think if he's at Money in the Bank, there's a great chance of it. And Cody may win Money in the Bank. Maybe that's the way he has to do it. Maybe they get to a point when he loses where he loses his next match against Brock. Say he beats Brock Lesnar, and then he gets a title shot at, say, I don't know, King of the Ring. Maybe, I don't know. Again, could even put it on free TV? Who knows? What wrestling's like. And he
will definitely be at King of the Ring because it's in Saudi Arabia. They're not going to.
Jeez, I forgot. Then he could lose that. And then they could say, well, you can't have another title shot, but then he could enter Money in the Bank, win it that way.
Cash it in that night.
Yeah, Roman goes against whoever. I don't know. And then Cody cashes in. Maybe.
Coming back to Drew, mate, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know what they want to. Well, it depends on where they creatively where they want to go. But it looks like they're going to push maybe Sheamus and Gunther. But then if they get the IC belt off Gunther, then they probably look at maybe pushing Drew and Sheamus in for the IC, and Gunther needs to go to the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes kind of levels, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. He should already be there, in my opinion. But
I think what they saw at Mania, though, they're probably thinking, oh, we can get a few more matches out of this.
Oh, they'll definitely milk Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew. Well, at least Gunther and Sheamus at the minute as much as they can.
It's a great match on Smackdown.
Really. Yeah, and it was a great match at Clash in the Castle as well.
Yeah, so they're guaranteed money with them. Ricochet took on Ivar from the Viking Raiders. It was quite a good match, actually. I'm never sure with Ricochet matches. I'm kind of with you there. He does way too much trampoline wrestling for me. But what else can he do? It's not like he can, he's not a Mac technician. He's like an early Rey Mysterio in WCW. If you remember this, all he did was, fly off the top rope or, springboards and stuff like that. But he's another one, though. He's kind of in that Drew McIntyre kind of ilk. Once the Braun Strowman thing's run its race, and probably going to be run very soon. What do they do with Ricochet?
Put him on NXT.
Could be one.
I can't think of anything else. Unless you're going to put him in like a group, like a hill, maybe a hill group. Like kept saying this before about the Hurt Business reforming him, put him in with MVP, Shelton, Cedric. Maybe not Bobby Lashley now. Maybe that's race has run. But
Omas.
What was his name on what did they change it to on
I don't know
socials last week? Something like almost his penis or something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh my god, that better not be his name going forward, because if that is, that screams McMahon.
He's back. Yeah, Vince is back. But yeah, Ricochet to NXT will be a good shout. Obviously, when he was in NXT back in the day, when it was on the black and gold brand. Oh, that's when NXT was.
I'm just thinking, because obviously, again, we were talking about if they're going to freshen it up, as in really freshen it up, by sounds of what Triple H said, that's where they're going. Then this really makes sense. He's not. Let's be honest. He's not going to be dethroning Roman Reigns. No. He's not going to be beating Gunther. He's not going to be beating Gunther. He's not really going to beat Austin Theory either, is he? Let's be honest. They're pushing him as the next money man. So when he finishes with Strowman, there really isn't nothing for him to do. That being said, the match with Ivar was very good, contrasting styles. Ivar's very, I would say, he's got a lot of agility for someone that's quite
a big dude,
built like me. So yeah, the match was actually really good, more than passable. But yeah, going forward with Ricochet, he deserves more, but he's not going to ever get it in the WWE.
No, it'd be a good AEW.
Oh, it'd be a sleeper pick for AEW.
Yeah, it'd be good in AEW. But yeah, again, we had the KO and Sammy backstage segment. Sammy was adamant that he wanted to talk to Jay. They're really pushing this Jay turn. It's going to happen. It's just when it happens, how it happens. You know, I think they've heard the main event Jey Uso kind of thing. I think he's going to be the one to go. I don't know how they're going to get there or how they're going to do it. I think eventually it's going to happen. You know, the draft will be telling to see what happens. But I think at some stage, I don't know if it's going to be SummerSlam or I think maybe after. What comes up after SummerSlam? You've got another pay-per-view.
Oh, there'll be another weird.
Yeah, there'll be another.
Something or other, like a Vengeance or something like that.
Something before Survivor Series, obviously, is actually like going towards the end of the year. But yeah, I think Jay's going to get pushed. I think you can tell the way they're teasing the little nuances that he does. That he's not quite. They've done the whole Solo Sikoa thing, which we'll get onto at the in the main event. But yeah, I thought that was a good segment. Sammy and KO and Sammy. But give me interested to see what they do with them now. Could they headline Backlash? Backlash is. Do you know what I said this to you the other day? Backlash is. Could be a glorified house show.
It's not looking great. I mean, Same's not looking great. The matches will always be good. It's their first time back in Puerto Rico since New Year's Revolution in 05 or 06. Bad Bunny's obviously going to be there.
He's the mate. Yeah. Does he headline? Him and Ray?
I don't think they'll headline it. I think it will be
being in Puerto Rico. He's a guy from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
like back in the day. You know what I mean? British Bulldog headlined every event over in the UK.
Yeah,
everything. No matter how good he was doing, I saw him at UK. I saw him at Rampage, UK Rampage, 1992.
Yeah.
I think he was in the Battle Royal in the Royal Albert.
That was cool.
That was cool. That's it. I was there for that. And then obviously SummerSlam 92, we all know about that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said to you the other day when me and you were texting, this could just be a glorified. Don't get me wrong, I get why they're doing it. It's why they go to Saudi Arabia. You're printing money.
Oh, he's printing money, and they're combo ticking it up, aren't they? So they're definitely printing money.
That's the way they're going forward.
That's the way forward for it.
We had to do it for Money in the Bank. I mean, I don't think single tickets have gone on sale yet. I don't think if you wanted to go just to SmackDown on a Friday because you're working on a Saturday or whatever, or vice versa, I think you just buy combo tickets right now.
Yeah, I think they're only releasing single tickets for Money in the Bank anyway. I don't think they're doing.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people sitting next to someone they don't know, and it's going to be a lot of that because you can only buy single tickets. You got very lucky if you got like 3 or 4 together. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv had a little warm up against Natty and Chauncey. Yeah, obviously Raquel Rodriguez and Liv have got their title shot coming up tonight. Me and you sit here recording this on a Monday, on Bank Holiday Monday. Is this where Lita and Becky drop the title? I can't see it being to Raquel and Liv. Can you? Like I said, though, I don't personally see how you keep the titles on these two much longer because Lita can't go.
No, I don't know.
Is that the only title change at Backlash? Maybe there's going to be some. It's got to be a title change at Backlash.
True. Yeah, they may hold it out till Backlash. Yeah, I can't see it being on. I can't see it being them two tonight. Maybe Trish or Trish could turn tonight, and then perhaps Lita turns at Backlash after they lose the titles. Maybe. Just that's just something that's entered my head. The match itself. I mean, Raquel's. The other reason I don't think they're going to win the title is it looks like. Well, saying Raquel looks like she was Rhea's first challenger. That looks like that's now changed from what we're talking about. We'll get onto that, I suppose, in a little while. I always thought that Raquel was going to be the first one to challenge Rhea Ripley for the women's championship, but listen, if Vince is booking it tonight, maybe they will. Maybe they will win.
Yeah, Raw's going to be interesting tonight. I thought it's quite funny. Do you know when Triple H come out to do the announcement? Did you hear what Michael Cole said?
Think about he's this and this, and now he's running the place or something.
He said he's the man that runs the entire place, and I was like, oh, well done. You slyly got that one in there.
Yes.
Someone's been listening
DMs.
yeah, someone's been But then obviously we spoke about the draft. Triple H come out. We all kind of knew what the announcement was going to be.
We had hoped anyway, because I mean, we come out and Raw just went, then we're here, we're not going anywhere. Then now, forever together. Welcome to Raw. Here's Roman Reigns. So anything was better than that.
This is gonna. I swear, did I see this? I was reading something with the draft. Do we see some UFC guys drafted to WWE?
Oh, no.
Just throwing it out there.
I know you're. Let's think the Endeavor sale won't actually complete until the back end of this year.
Yeah, but if they've got UFC guys just kicking around and maybe no fight schedule, Conor McGregor's not really doing anything. I'm just saying, mate. I read it this morning. Was it this morning? I don't know when I was. I was scrolling through.
Could you imagine this? I'll throw this one out there. They put Dana White as GM of SmackDown.
Oh my god. Vince McMahon in charge of UFC. Oh my god!
They said they said they're going to be standalone pure plays, but anything is possible with these guys. Yeah. I wouldn't rule. Don't rule. I highly doubt it, but don't ever rule it out when we're looking.
No, if this was closer to Mania, maybe then you might see. What do we have next? I think the heat that Dom Mysterio got.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know what? For a minute, I thought, have they turned the volume? Like, they do WWE. But I was like, no, this is genuine. They fucking hate him.
Yeah.
He's that. Do you know what? Like The Rock said when he was the Hollywood Rock, he said, when you get this kind of heat, you've done something well. Triple H is like, you haven't never made it in the WWE to get booed out the building.
Yeah.
That was some serious heat, mate. What did you think of that? And I think it's been scheduled as well that the LWO have got a match. Did I see something for Raw tonight or coming up? The LWO have got something coming up. I think either Raw or SmackDown this week. But obviously it was the LWO and Ray took on Dominic and Damian Priest at this SmackDown. Another good little angle, you know what I mean? Yeah. Bad Bunny and all that. It's kind of obvious where this is going, isn't it?
Definitely is. I mean, Dominic's brilliant. Considering where he was about a year ago, maybe about a year ago.
You think last Mania it was him and his old man, versus
they win the titles, or did they keep them?
They lost the titles to the Usos at.
That wasn't a WrestleMania because the Usos took on Boogs and Nakamura last WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so they think it might have been SummerSlam or something.
Someone can ask.
Yeah, someone can let us know. Again, but and I think there's obviously the Bad Bunny's going to be the main thing. Rey Mysterio, Puerto Rico, Damian Priest, they're all from there.
Yeah,
it's going to be, it's going to be good for them. But again, I'm not exactly high. It'd be interesting to see what they do like with Rhea Ripley now in the draft. Does she leave the judge?
She's already on SmackDown now, isn't she?
Yeah, but out of the main factions, who do you reckon could get split up? Because it's going to be the bloodline. I'm telling you now, something in with the bloodline. They're not all going to be together come the end of the draft.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. I think one of them or two, or I don't know, maybe they all get moved. But no doubt.
Here's one for you. Triple H said nothing's off the table. In his words were, everything is up for one of the titles could get drafted to Raw.
Now that's more like it. Now I think that makes a lot more sense because They could say USA Network have picked the Universal Championship to go to Raw.
Yep.
That you're onto something there, and then that splits the titles.
And it's done.
Then either, I'm not saying a Backlash or anything like Cody versus Brock at Backlash could then be for that title.
If he said the draft's going to be in a very few short weeks. I reckon we'll have this week of TV. Yeah, I reckon we'll have this week of TV. And then I've got a feeling that they could announce this time.
They'll probably announce a date this week.
I reckon we could hear something on Raw tonight or SmackDown on Friday that next Monday could be the start of the draft. And it'll be the very, very last pick. I reckon Roman will be in the ring or something, and it'll be like drafted to Monday Night Raw and then they'll pick a title.
One of the titles.
Yeah, and it will just zoom in on Roman, and it'll be like, what the fuck is going on here?
And then it makes sense. Cody versus Brock would be for the title. Brock could win it because I think what they're doing with Cody is they're doing this hard times.
Yeah, he's
being like his old man again. Which do we have to? But the whole point of it is he'll go back around and then he'll finally get the job done. I think that may work.
Yeah, I should get a job in WWE.
What are we doing?
I'm just wasted. I'm wasted throwing beer barrels around, mate. The main event, obviously we had. Actually, Shinsuke Nakamura. That's easy for me to say. Is back next week on SmackDown. That's going to be for someone that come in with such hype. Do you remember his NXT days?
Oh,
do you know what I watched the other day? Kind of segue in here a little bit. But Shinsuke, they had some. You know how do you do when you're scrolling through social media? Top 10 entrances.
Oh, yeah.
How Shinsuke's still around. How the hell did WWE screw up Bobby Roode? Glorious. I love that. Do you realise how hot he them takeovers when they obviously had the mate? They were onto something there.
Curse of the main roster.
What's he doing now?
He's injured. He's been in back injury for a year.
Yeah, but they properly dropped the ball with that. And Shinsuke a little bit. I know he won the Rumble. Nakamura, he won the Rumble.
Yeah.
And then they really dropped the ball with him. I mean, do you think that's like Shinsuke? I'd love to see Bobby Roode come back. But he didn't even bring up, they had his music, the entrance in a little bit when he comes to the main roster. But then they repackaged him as, wasn't he with some tag team with
Ziggler, Dirty Dogs.
Yeah, there you go. And I was like, man, again, this is me up sometimes about WWE. NXT, they were incredible. Shinsuke, Bobby Roode, people like that. But Shinsuke coming, what do you reckon? Where does he fit in? What does he do? IC title?
Well, before he left, they had the bit where Roman hugged him and then they beat him up. I'm not saying he's going to go straight for Roman. I'm just saying that's one of the last time he was relevant on SmackDown that I can.
Did we have some new people joining the bloodline?
Oh well, Rikishi put on Instagram. There's another one.
Oh, he's trying to get himself.
Roman's going to need to have a draft just for the.
I know. Some people are really.
Nakamura, big wasted talent. Massive waste. I mean, what the fuck have they done with him?
Like you can. How many could you name about that?
Ziggler is another one. Ziggler. I mean, he's literally
Big Cass is just jobbing out on AEW now as someone. He was on Rampage the other night, and
he was another one.
Him and Enzo, you know what I mean? They were fucking when they debuted on Raw. Do you remember that pop? That was Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was Raw after WrestleMania. They come up.
I watched one yesterday. It was with the Mexican waves, and they were chanting Michael Cole. And in the space of 3 years. I don't know what's happened to Raw after mainly for crowd wise. I mean, I know a lot of American fans didn't like it because it was kind of pretty much taken over by us Europeans. But yeah, Nakamura, mate.
Do you know what? I would send him back to NXT. What's the point? If you're not going to use him, right, just go back. Just
let Sean book him, maybe. See what happens.
But make him Braun Breaker's replacement when he's bound.
You've got Sean and William Regal down there now, so
then. If you're not going to use they're not even using Apollo Crews properly down there. You know, NXT.
It's what's his name? Who's fighting Jericho this Wednesday on Rampage?
Keith Lee.
Again, he was another one. You look at him in NXT. That one of the biggest pops he had come out of the Royal Rumble face to face with Brock Lesnar. You're thinking they're onto something here. This is.
Remember when he pounced? I think it was Adam Cole into the fourth.
Yeah, into the fourth row. Yeah, the shoulder barge. Yeah, he was walking down the ring. Walking down the apron. Sorry. It was again another one that they've dropped the ball with, and him and Jericho will have a good match. And they'll have a good match.
Well, on Dynamite. What do you reckon?
I reckon they'll be all right. I like Keith Lee.
I like them both.
I like Jericho, so
I just don't think.
But the whole Jericho, the whole JSA thing, I don't know what's going on with it.
I'm not worried about that. I don't think them two work
together.
I could be wrong, and I may come on the review show Friday and be like, yeah, I was wrong. But I
Mm.
just can't see how that's gonna.
I think by the looks of it, I haven't seen the full Dynamite card yet. That's going to main event, I think.
Oof.
MJF hasn't really been scheduled
Ratings
to
be below 700,000. Okay.
Yeah, might not be, but I don't know. Yeah, anyway. But then we got to the main event, Jay,
Yes.
Sammy. Another good match, mate. But again,
Mm.
typical bloodline match ends with
So
Solo. But then do you see the bit that's when the WWE are a bit clever at the end. They're kind of teasing the Jey Uso wants to be the good guy.
we forgot to mention that when Sammy spoke to Jay, he then met somebody. Who did he meet afterwards? Because then Kevin got beaten up.
Kevin Owens was getting beat up by Solo Sikoa, wasn't he?
And he got the thing dropped on his leg. But who was he talking to? Sammy was talking to somebody else.
He was just getting.
I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, let's get back.
I know he was getting interviewed, but then he ran down and KO. That's why KO couldn't come out to the ring because he was.
But they had somebody else come out, didn't they, to help Sammy at the end of SmackDown?
Oh, bro.
Don't
ever get me started on that.
He wants to be a more serious bro now.
Put him to NXT. I don't watch it. Send him back. Dude, if they give him if they push him, you're gonna need.
I think it's gonna be a while because he's gonna have to do a few drug tests first, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's a new man now. Apparently, if you saw that little documentary short thing they put out on WWE.
Oh, what, his return when he was in the
I've backstage and all that, and he was like, "I'm a new man now, bro." I'm like, yeah, he's still stoned as fuck, mate. But do they push him? Just I tell you what, the draft, Randy Orton.
He's nowhere near ready.
Is he still not? Because I've heard rumors.
Nowhere near it. Unless it's a big swerve, unless it's one of those things where that's the feelers they're putting out, so you're not expecting him to come back.
He hasn't been on there. He was like prominent on like Instagram, and his wife is always on there now. Radio silence.
But apparently he's nowhere near. I don't know. I mean, if you think that RKO, and this is where again we're sidetracking for the main event, and we'll get back into that in a second. That damage that because don't forget, how long has he been doing the RKO for? What, 20 years?
About that.
He lands on his back every time he does it. And he's not exactly a small chap, is he? You know, he's 250, maybe 30, 40.
Yeah.
Anyway, on a good day. So he's obviously, that's what it is, isn't it? It's like Hogan, the leg drops. It damages his back because it always jolts his back, and that's why he's got that battery in his back that when he gets the pain, he has to shock it.
Yeah.
So wrestling's fake, people.
It's all fake. I mean,
but last time I heard he was nowhere close, but it could just be a big swerve, just so you don't think that's going to be Randy, and then he could come out.
So with Riddle now coming into the picture, do you think that that's KO, Sammy, and Riddle versus Sikoa and the Usos at Backlash?
Yes. Oh yeah, I think so. I think that's where they're going with it. Riddle's
so the titles won't be defended then. There's another title not getting defended. So you got Roman not defending his. You got KO and Sammy not defending his. We don't know what's going on with Austin Theory.
You'd imagine he would be defended. You'd imagine Gunther would be defended.
I've got a horrible feeling that the US title is going to end up soon on Omos. Sorry to break the news to you.
Let's talk about the main event of SmackDown.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I liked it. I just thought when I saw Solo come out.
You knew how that was going, yeah. You
knew it was going to happen. But it was just like, oh fuck, not again. And they do have to stop that pretty soon because it gets to a point where it was like when you were just waiting for Triple H to pull out Sledgehammer every time he defended his title. Yeah, or Jeff Jarrett to get a guitar out every time he's defending the TNA.
And he's still doing that, mate.
Yeah, he's still doing it. Match was great. I love the match. Again, you can't really go wrong with the guys in there. Sami Zayn, great. Jey Uso, great.
Is Jey Uso ready for main event status in WWE?
I don't think. I think I go back to what Sami Zayn said on his interview with Ariel Helwani, and maybe Jey Uso fits into this mold. They said he asked Sami Zayn if he could be the Universal Champion, and Sami Zayn said, "Could I be the Universal Champion and hold it for a couple of a decent run? Yes. Can I be the face of the company? No." And that's probably where Jey Uso fits in. Could he hold it? Absolutely. Is he going to be the face of the company? Not a chance.
Jinder Mahal held it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's where they're kind of saying he's back in NXT and all, but that's
He is,
another.
yeah.
Oh, Veer Mahan's coming.
Oh, I saw that, mate. I saw you weren't happy about that.
We keep sidetracking. Yeah, so can Jay? I mean, Jay Uso's he's a main event talent. I don't think he's going to be one that I would say is serious contender.
That's where it could come if the belts get split up, though.
It could do, and again, that's where we can.
Could they segue it somehow to get Cody versus Jay for the title that moves wherever it moves? That's where they've kind of,
I think the thing this whole podcast, you've hit the nail on the head with the titles. I think that, and again, I didn't even come think of that when I was, when Triple H said it, I didn't think about, does that mean they could split their titles up? And that's a great way. You book Roman strong. Still, Roman doesn't devalue the title in any way, but it gets his off him without his shoulders being pinned.
Yeah.
One of the last people to actually beat him clean in a match. Do you know who that was? Baron Corbin.
Oh God, yeah, he done an interview on Raw about it a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? And I was the last person to beat him clean in a match. Yeah. He's got, mate, NXT's have a good roster. He's another one that could go back.
Mate, what? Yeah, he's one of them ones that, like, I don't know.
The JBL experience didn't work.
That was just a complete waste of.
But there's talk of putting. Who did you mention the other day? What's his name? Done the Hall of Fame speech. What's his name?
Hall of Fame speech.
Oh, the bald guy. Fucking. No, not you.
Conan.
There's talk of him putting him with a faction, putting him with the Judgment Day or something like that. Yeah, I thought, wow. I was reading it. Again, we read this shit. I was wrestling fans. We read everything. But there was talk of him maybe putting him with. I was like,
and he's still with Triple H.
You put it, yeah, I think he is actually. But I was like, you put him with a live microphone every week. Jesus Christ.
They had said that he got given
He got a lot of shit for that. Him and Ric Flair got in so much shit for that.
But to be fair, Flair's answer was fantastic when he was on. He said to him, the reason why I done it was because 99% of them didn't know who the fucking move was.
Yeah.
I was like, what you were saying.
Yeah, no, it's true, mate. It's true. But yeah, so SmackDown went off the air, obviously, with Riddle coming down, doing the save, and it was a bit like, oh, okay. And yeah, and then they've kind of obviously teased it's going to be a freeway. We'll learn a lot more on Raw tonight. I know obviously we're here just finishing up, wrapping up on SmackDown, but Raw is tonight, mate. Me and you sit here recording this on Monday. Surely, mate, it can't be any worse. And I know they've advertised Cody Rhodes is going to
address his
future.
Yeah, he signed a 5-year, multi-year contract, but he wants to address his future after a year. And you already had these people, believing the shit and saying he was going to leave. Like, come on.
Yeah, a lot of I saw some people tweeting, "Come home to AEW." It's like, dude, this is just a storyline. Calm down. He's going to fight Brock Lesnar. I wonder, is Brock advertised for Raw tonight?
No, not as far as I'm aware.
I'm getting him 2 weeks running. I was going to say,
you'd have to buy be a lot of money in it.
But again, they're going to have to rely on the Usos, and if you think
the Bloodline are going to be there,
so the main event again.
Bobby Lashley's going to be on Raw. Apparently,
Riddle's going to be in the main event somehow tonight.
Riddle's got the Miz tonight. Just to make, what?
Just kill my mood.
What can you do?
There's one match I'm fast forwarding through. Then, and then when we review that, mate, that'll have to all be on you because I'll be like, yeah, watch that on +30, mate.
I'll be watching it in the morning.
Yeah, I've got a busy week this week, mate. I've got 2 games of football to it. Yeah, I've got, but we'll squeeze it in. But mate, no, yeah, SmackDown on the whole, it couldn't get any worse than Raw, and I think it delivered. And I done a Twitter space with a couple of the guys, and they were asking like what we think of Raw and stuff like that, and SmackDown going, which is better.
Watch our videos, you'll know exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, SmackDown is far. I think this is why this draft could be really interesting because I think they know that the ratings on Raw are nowhere near where they should be.
There you go.
You've got no NFL in a minute, so you're not really competing. All right, the NBA playoffs are starting soon, so you have to kind of compete against that. But you're not really going up against Monday Night Football.
The Raw rating was 2.26. It was always going to be. I mean, people were like, "Oh, it was Vince, but look at this rating." It was always.
It's a Raw after Mania.
It's this Raw now.
This is the one.
You got after last week's shit show. People are going to be like, I ain't going to watch the shit.
30 minutes of wrestling, like I say last week. 30 minutes.
So
imagine being in that arena. and all he saw was 30 minutes, and the rest of it was promos. You saw 2.5 hours of promos.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's hard enough watching 3 hours of wrestling when there's wrestling on the show.
Exactly. But we will. When are we back next?
Well, I'm back. Well, we've got to decide
Aye.
when we're going to do Raw off air. So we'll
Yeah,
decide
we'll
on
sort
that.
that out.
I'm back on Thursday as you're leaving me in the lurch to
Fine.
go and watch your beloved Dunstable Town.
The mighty
Oh, by
Dunstable
the way,
Town.
do you want to plug your reward thing?
Oh yeah, if anyone that follows, you can come and follow. Go to @DTFC Pod. My little football podcast has been nominated in the top 10 in the entire country. We're up. There's Wrexham. I've got 2 podcasts in that though, mate. So I'm not holding out much hope.
Reynolds, he's getting his wallet
yeah,
out.
it's Reynolds versus Burrows, and but, you can vote more than once apparently. So you can just sit there and keep tapping Talk of the Town podcast. But yeah, @DTFC Pod. While I get that in, I do host a podcast on my local team, the mighty Dunstable Town. Lots of wrestling fans there, by the way. My mate Wayne, who I know listens to this, I talk to him about these podcasts as well. He really enjoys him. Him and his son Brandon. They're really my mate Steve Lewitton. He listens to this with his kids. So yeah, there's a lot of wrestling fans at Dunstable Town.
Cool.
Let's talk about one of the guys, Dan. He listens to this. He wants to put on a wrestling event at Dunstable Town. That could be.
We'll be happy to help.
Yeah, could be something I chat to. I could be chatting to CJ about that.
Yeah, well, we'll have a chat. Let's just say Thursday, I'm interviewing my favorite tag team in the world at the moment.
It's probably best you're on your own.
Yeah, probably best. Beers and Beatdowns from our platinum sponsors at Pro Wrestling Carnage. They'll be joining me on Thursday. I'm speaking to them today on Facebook. They've already agreed to tone down.
Surprised they haven't put a restraining order against you yet.
They're really excited, man. I can tell you, they've already agreed to tone down language. I was like, yeah, it's going on YouTube, guys. So let's.
Yeah, got to be a little. The audio version, you can get away with it. YouTube, you can't. You can F and Jeff a little bit, but yeah,
not too much. So we got those on Thursday. Obviously, we're going to be doing AEW review, SmackDown review, and a Raw review at some point this week. We announced today our new guest in May, which is another one that I'm really looking forward to because he's an NXT. Sorry, let me get this right. One half of the.
Yeah.
I don't like to be.
Don't want to get people coming out on Twitter again, mate. I bet he was a right hooter at party.
Yeah. So oof. One half of the former NXT UK tag team champions, Flash Morgan Webster, will be joining us on May the 4th. That could be an interesting one. Maybe we can see if he's interested in getting any bookings.
Somewhere. That could be somewhere. Yeah, that
we
could
can
be
work as intermediaries. So he's coming on. So obviously this week's pretty packed. We've got another fantastic guest next week in Santino Marella.
That's going to be incredible. I can't
great.
wait.
And I tried my hand at interviewing, and I must say, Nick Payne, I think
you two have got some beef, mate. When's that match happening?
I think we need to bring him on here.
Bring him on here, mate. Let's get him on. I can kind of be the special guest referee in between you two,
because,
mate.
I was tempted yesterday after he defended his title against Nino to jump in at the end, but I didn't have my Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, just give him a
I do have a Money in the Bank briefcase. Maybe I should take that to next. They've got a new show in June the 4th.
Okay.
The Animal Instincts or Prime Instincts, sorry, it's called, back at Harwich. And it's going to be one of the last times that the tag team, the Lads, will be.
I saw that, yeah.
So Alex, one of the lads at Jurassic Pro Wrestling, he's retiring. He announced that yesterday on the show, much to the chagrin of some of the people there. There was tears from some of the crowd. Yeah, so obviously he was a very popular guy. So he's retiring. I did have a quick chat with Corey McRae before he got his feet sliced open by a paper cut and then put lemon juice during their last man standing. Yeah, it wasn't very nice during his last man standing match. So yeah, big shout out to those guys. They made us feel well.
It looks incredible, mate. Yeah, it was a bit
Smashing Mike was a
Smash It Easy dude, didn't he? I've met him a few times.
he's a cracker. So yeah, so we'll go back there. Me and you, we'll get down there again to go to. We might not see June, but we might. We got Buckle Up to start looking at. So we're going to have to be heavily promoting that coming the month end, as of course we'll be putting on our show in July. So we've got to start booking. So we've got to start getting that booked in. Pro Wrestling Carnage have gotten the coronation of the king or something like that. That's coming up. They've just announced their main events on that. So hit their Facebook page, Pro Wrestling Carnage, and you can get your tickets for that. We already mentioned Corey McRae, and we are obviously, as of tomorrow, we'll be sponsoring our good dart buddy Matt.
Yeah, Matt, he's going to be donning the Hitting the Turnbuckle logo and all his dart equipment. So if you are a darts fan, and keep an eyes peeled for him on PDC TV, and yeah, he's going to be he's making great waves in darts, and yeah, he's just we're helping him out. He's got Hitting the Turnbuckle on his shirt, and he's going to be advertising us everywhere he goes. So yeah, the name is getting out there, ads.
Yeah, and then just quickly, the week after Santina, we've got our NWA week.
That is going to be good. Thank God for Fiona. That's all I'm saying.
Well, she's only on one of them, so we're going to.
Well, no, we need to negotiate with this woman, Fiona. You're listening to this. You're getting a text from me later.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that's going to be super cool, mate. It's good. I mean, I think as well, what's good. A lot of people have contacted us saying, we on the podcast. Don't get me wrong, WWE, AW, the big boys. Yeah. But it is good to highlight English promotions, NWA. You know what I mean? It's good. There is more out there than WWE and AW. Go and get the Fight app on your phone or on your laptop.
Fight Network Plus.
Fight Network is
that.
So much. You could literally be every day and there'll be a live show going on somewhere in the world. And it's going to be on there. A lot of the UK promotions are on there. Again, that's something I need, CJ, when you listen to this, mate. That is a good little one to get in with, mate. A lot of UK guys are now using them. That is one way of getting your name
ICW are on there. I think I saw Rev Pro. I think they're on there.
Yeah, it's good, mate. So these UK guys, let's spread the word about the great promotions in the UK. But ads, we will be back. You and I will be back sometime this week. I don't know. I might show up. I'll try and make it. You're definitely back on Thursday.
I'm back Thursday regardless.
Yeah, he's here Thursday. It's going to be him and his favourite buddies. Probably a good I ain't here, mate. Just watching Adam and his pants ain't going to be well. But make sure you go and check us out on Twitter at HTTBuckle. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And we will catch you later in the week.
YouTube.
YouTube. I keep forgetting about YouTube. Sorry, mate. It's been a long bank holiday weekend. Yeah. Go on YouTube. Munsey runs our YouTube page for us. Just type in Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, all one word, on YouTube. The subscribers are slowly building. So go and find us on there. Hit the notification bell. Well, I sound like my daughter loves all this. Keeps asking me about, Daddy, do you do YouTube shorts and stuff? We're talking about child. Yeah, we do apparently, but I don't know what you're talking about. But we'll be back next week. Adam, thanks for your time, mate. It's always a pleasure to talk some wrestling with you. This has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Till next time, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.